What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? The sun is out today, so I've got the glasses on today, and the sun is all up in my face. And what do you guys think of that? What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? That's the new intro. That's the intro to this hell. Whoa! That noise just scared the living daylights out of me. Wow, this guy needs to relax with his lane changing. You guys like me here? You guys like hearing me talk about traffic stuff? Pretty fun, pretty fun, pretty fun. That noise right there is a scale from a doctor's office. It's the kind of scale that you stand on and it has the little sliding things on it. Found that in a dumpster today. Son. Anyway, that's probably worth, like, I don't know. I have no idea how much it's worth, but I think I want to keep it, man. It's kind of a cool thing. It's better than the stupid little digital one that we've got back at the house. Wow, that guy's doing 80 miles an hour. Don't do that, kids. You drive the speed limit. Yeah, I really need to get one of those like windshield mounts for my phone, and I'll put it right here underneath my rear view mirror. Can you guys see it? Oh, it's just out of view. I'm touching it, but you can't see it. You can't see it. You guys are never gonna know what color my rear view mirror is. Nah, secrets. Unless my phone falls, because it's just kind of wedged in between the dash and the windshield, and so, like, if I took off kind of fast, it would probably fall. It would probably fall that easy. Can you guys see the sun in the reflection of my glasses? Man, look at that. It's bright. It's bright. This thing can see pretty well. The camera, I mean, my phone camera. Came with a pretty good camera, dude. My wife just gave me some compliments, and she's kind of like a... Well, no, she's not. She's not I was going to say that she's a photo snob, but that's not true. That's not true at all. Let me find a better spot to put this. What do you guys think? There we go. I can still see my speed, and you guys can still see me. Yeah, that thing makes a lot of noise, man. It's rattling. Oh, and I found this too. This is a shoe rack. It's a nice little shoe rack that I found at an apartment dumpster. It was sitting outside the dumpster, though. I didn't even have to garbage pick that. Not really. It was just laying on the sidewalk. Score. And my wife, I sent her a picture of that too. She said she likes it, so we'll probably end up keeping both of these things. Pretty fun. I like finding good stuff in the garbage, man. Oh, and I found a pair of, whenever I see iPhone cases, people get their iPhone and then they throw it away, right? Or they throw away the box, right? Well, I always look at those because there's the stickers in them, and I don't know, I just like the stickers. I'm just like my kid. My 5-year-old loves stickers, and so do I. And so I looked inside the box today, and normally all you find is like the instructions and maybe the stickers, dude. But today I looked in there and the headphones were still in there. So I got a pair of Apple headphones with the lightning connector. So I can't use them myself, but they're definitely worth a tenner. Those are going on Facebook Marketplace immediately for $10, dude. Maybe more. It just depends, because I want to price them competitively. You know, if everybody is selling them for 10, or if there's only a couple on there and they're listed for 10, then I'm going to list mine for 10. But if I get on there and there's a friggin' ocean of them, I'm going to put them up for 5. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I haven't really looked them up yet. I was too busy getting the truck to where the next stop was at all day. Yeah, I'm gonna look this stuff up, dude. If this scale is worth more than I think, and I think there's no way it's worth $100. It's probably worth like 50 at the most, and I would be lucky if it was 50. And for anything less than 50, I kind of want to keep it, dude. I like it. But if I look these things up and they're going for a good bit of money, you can bet it's going on there. It's going up for sale for sure. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The old doctor scales. And I tested it, and it works. Oh, and by the way, anybody... Man, I should have cleaned that mirror off. I thought I did. There we go. I'll put on the cruise control, so I don't got to worry about it. Talking about the scale, it reminded me that this morning, I didn't hit a new low, but I hit again the number which is my lowest low. My lowest low in a long time, anyway. Obviously, I started out less than 10 pounds a long time ago, but now I haven't been 240 in a while, in a long time. The last time I was 240, I was passing right on through on my way to 315, and now I'm back down to 240, and I am starving. Not really, I'm just hungry. You know, I had my lunch, I had some stuff, and you know, at my job, every Friday, the boss man orders pizza for delivery, and I haven't eaten any of that in like months. No, not months, but like almost 2 months. Almost 2 months since I've eaten any of that pizza. Because right before the new year, I was eating some. So like not even a month and a half, really, right? But yeah, I miss it. Even though it's only been like 4 or 5, 6 weeks. I miss pizza. I'll tell you guys the story about pizza, man. I have delivered pizzas for a handful of years. You know, I started out at the Donato's in Amherst delivering pizzas, and then I worked at East of Chicago Pizza delivering pizzas. And if anybody has questions about delivering pizzas, I can answer just about any question you've got, especially if it's in or around Cleveland. Just about how which numbers are on which side of the road. I can tell you that without even knowing which road you're talking about. I know which side of the road the numbers are on. I know which way the numbers count up and down on any road in that whole county, because it's all the same. It all starts at the lake and in the center of Cleveland, going east and west, counting up, going away from the center both ways, and counting up, going away from the lake. But anyway, that's just a nerdy detail about addresses. Anyway, pizza. So I delivered at Donato's in Amherst, East of Chicago in Oberlin, and then where else? I think after that, I got fired from East of Chicago because I hated that job, and I told one of the customers that I hated my job because she was like one of the reasons that I hated my job, so I told her. And they said, "You gotta go, dude. You gotta go. You got your second job at McDonald's. You know, I think you should just go and work for them." And so I was fired from that job. But maybe you can say I quit. I don't know. I probably would have showed up the next day if she didn't fire me, so I got fired. And then after that, I hated McDonald's, and I quit that to go work at Pizza Hut, because I worked at McDonald's for about a week. I had already been there for like over a month, and then about a week went by before I said, yeah, forget this, and I started applying at more pizza shops. And I was sitting in a parking lot on Google Maps. I was like, where's the pizza shops? I'm going to hit every single one, dude. And then I was like, oh, look at that. There's Pizza Hut right across the street from me on the map here. So I went across the street and I applied at Pizza Hut, and I met probably my favorite boss, dude. He was the coolest guy I worked for, I think, at Pizza Hut. And he sat me down for an interview. I met him, And I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I delivered pizzas at Donato's in East Chicago. I pretty much know what I'm doing. I would need very minimal training just on the Pizza Hut specific stuff, and I'm ready to go. And I sounded confident. I sounded just like that. I said, let's go to work. You ready? I'll start today. And I didn't say all that, but I told him that my history. So that was, and then we sat down for the interview, and he asked me some other questions I don't even remember. And I went home with a shirt that day. I think he gave me a shirt and told me to come in the next day from like 4 to 8 or something, just as a trial run. I wasn't, obviously he's not going to bring the new guy in as the closer, but pretty quickly after I started that job at Pizza Hut, I was the closer. I said, you're damn right, I want that extra money. You send the pre-close driver home an hour or two before close, and there's still a handful of deliveries. I want that money. What's up, dude? Give me those tips. I want those tips. I want those tips, and I want them right now. Right? So I became the closer, and I was closing every weekend. Every night of every weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sundays weren't quite as good, but I was the closer. Fridays and Saturdays were where it was at. That's when you would get into the money. And eventually, after doing that for about a year and a half, or 2 years or something, my timeline is just foggy. I can't remember exactly. But in 2012, I was a manager, and I was in a store in another town, because when they promote you, they move you to another store. And so I became a manager at another location, and the general manager of that store told me that there was an interview coming in. And I was like, all right, well, what's her name? And he told me, and she came in, and I hired her, and then we worked together for a while, and then eventually I married her. So that's what I'm going to call this episode, actually. I'm going to call it How I Met Your Mother. And I think that's funny, How I Met Your Mother. That was a good name for that sitcom, dude. And it's a good name for this episode, too. This is how I met my wife, right there, dude. I brought her in. Well, I guess the GM of that Pizza Hut location brought her in, and but I was the one that interviewed her, and I thought she was going to be great, and I was right, dude. She was a good employee for us until I went to another store, and then she quit. I'm trying to think about how this worked. I got transferred out of that store that I hired her out of. I hired her in one store, and then I got transferred out to Vermilion. And when I was working at that Vermilion store, she had quit her position at the store that I hired her in. She quit that job and then went and got a job for Pizza Hut in Lakewood, which is another town closer to Cleveland, but it's not owned by the franchise that I was a part of. It was owned by Pizza Hut corporate. So it was actually like Pizza Hut's own location. It wasn't a franchise. It wasn't a franchise owner. It was a corporate store. So that's why she had to like quit and go there. And she was a new hire at the new location. And but we were still dating, and that's when I found out that we were having our daughter, our first daughter. And then I decided that it was time for me to step into something a little more serious, and I met her stepdad, my father-in-law, and man, these stupid people calling me, man. I've been getting these calls from people trying to sell me credit consolidation or whatever, dude. I don't need any of that. I have no debt. Whatever. I have a little bit of car debt and whatever, about $10,000 a car debt. But I don't need it. I don't need it consolidated. I don't need a better interest rate. Get out of my face. You're calling me all the time. So I decided that Pizza Hut manager money wasn't enough for me, because it was like not even $10 an hour. It was $9.35, and I wasn't getting tips anymore, so it was hardly worth it. And my father-in-law offered me a position as a salesman at Kia of Bedford, Ohio. And I was a salesman there from March 2014 to October 2014. So that was 8 months, because it was the beginning of March, so that's, 10 minus 2, because three counts. So 10 minus 2, yeah, it was 8 months. 8 months I was there, and, it was alright, but I just didn't like it, dude. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Don't you know what green means, bro? Where'd you get your license from? A cereal box? Anybody ever play Spider-Man 2? But selling cars, man, I just gotta tell you that the car sales business is exactly as dirty as you think it is. It really is. And I don't really blame them for what they do. They're just trying to make money and whatever. But dude, don't just do everything private party. Selling, buying cars, don't go to dealerships, dude. Just stay out of them. You're gonna save money at the buy, and you're gonna make more money when you sell your own car. It's just better on both ends, man. Don't bother going to the dealership. The thing about the dealership that has value for people is that it's quick and easy. And if you're willing to pay thousands of dollars for the quick and easy, then that's fine. And if there's something wrong with the car, you kind of have a place to take it back to, especially if you're buying new. But one thing I said that the car business is really dirty, but when you buy a new car, there's not really any place for them to screw you up. They can't really screw you. The only thing that you got to watch out for if you're buying a new car is when they try to keep you on payment. When they're working the deal with you, like they got you on a car, they made you fall in love with the car, they sold it to you. You're like, man, I want to take this car home today. And then they bring you out the paperwork, and a lot of times it's a foursquare. You have the price of the car, the price of your trade-in, and then on the bottom two squares you have the monthly payment and the down payment. Is one of the? I think I have those squares mixed up, but that's how it works. You have trade-in, price of the car, payment, down payment. And they'll just try to stick you on the bottom half of the sheet. Never mind the top half. Never mind what you're getting for your trade. Never mind what the sale price of the car is. You only care about your payment, right? If we could get you to a payment that you feel comfortable with, you would take it home today, wouldn't you? Right? That's a line. That's a line. That's a line that a lot of salesmen will use on every single customer. If we can get you to a payment that would work for you, you would take it home today, wouldn't you? Yes? Okay, great. And they keep you on payment, and you're not looking at what you're getting for your trade. And a lot of times they'll try to give you, like, one deal that I was involved in, shamefully, right, was a car that was worth like $6,000. This car was worth $6,000 to us. We would have gave these people $6,000 in trade for their car, but they had a lien on it. They owed like $1,500, and then we had our car that we were going to sell to them, and we set it up so that their trade-in was worth what they owed on it. And so that friggin' $4,500 went into my commissionable gross. And I made 30% on that $45. How do you like that? The dealership got 70% of that gross profit, and I got 30%. And 30% of $4,500 is considerable. It is over $1,000, my friends. Well over $1,000. Like 12 something, right? With 300 times 4, Yeah, over $1,200, dude. So yeah, and that's on one deal. That's on one deal. And how I did it was I said, here's the price of the car. Here's your trade. We're going to take care of that for you. You don't got to worry about that. And then with $1,000 down, you know, your payment will be this much. But if you want, you don't have to put anything down today. We can get you to this payment. It's just a little bit higher. What do you want to do? Which one of these options would work best for you, right? You assume the close. It's called the assumptive close or whatever it's called. Something like that. When you just assume that they're going to buy it. Which one of these is going to work for you? Obviously, you're not going to say no to that question. Or at least I would think that you're not going to say no by the way I asked you. And so I kept them focused on payment. They saw the payment. They knew that they could pay the payment. They weren't worried about the payment. The payment's fine. Okay, good. Signed it. And I took $4,500 out of their pocket. It's gross, dude. I feel bad for that still. Nowadays, I tell people don't finance your car at all, dude. You don't need to be paying interest. If you can't buy it cash, you don't need it. You know, I'm full Dave Ramsey on car payments now, dude. And that I had car payments before I found Dave Ramsey, so I'm trying to pay him off, but I'm not as successful as I need to be. But you know, I was talking to my wife about that actually, about paying off debt and how we haven't been able to pay it off as fast as I wanted to. But you know, she reminded me of some really important things about all the money that we spent on dental work. We spent a lot of money on dental work last year. We had to buy a new fridge. We had to buy a new oven, all of this stuff, you know? So that's why we didn't make as much progress as I would have liked, you know, because that was like $7,000 in unforeseen expense that we had to shell out last year. So it was tough. It was a tough year last year, and hopefully we can get away this year a little cleaner. I would really, really hope that this year will be a little more friendly to my wallet. Our wallet, I should say. Because my money is my wife's money, and that's how you guys should run yours too. When you get married, everything is non-exclusive. You know, she has every right to our money, same as me. Because man, I'd tell you what, I couldn't take care of these babies as good as she does, even if I didn't work. So yeah, she definitely does plenty to earn her keep. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but your wife isn't just like a business partner or whatever, you know. You're saying like I'm sharing my life with you. So this whole podcast was really just tangential. I just kept going off on tangents, and then that tangent would lead to another one. So what was I talking about? Pizza and delivering pizza, and that led to talking about how I met my wife, and that led me talking about our daughter and how I needed more money, and how my father-in-law offered me that car business job, and then I started talking about beware of the car dealership, and then I started talking about this, how it went tangential, and now I'm saying goodbye. So that's how this thing works. See you later.